Welcome, everybody, to our webinar today. This is number 3 of 3 in webinars about the science of rejuvenation. And today we're going to focus on lifestyle and diet hacks for better longevity. There are 3 main factors that affect your genetic health. First is, of course, your genetics, your blueprint, your environment, and then on top of your environment are your lifestyle choices, in particular, your diet. And this little graphic shows things are very much connected. Way more than at one time science realized, lifestyle and diet have a profound effect on your genetic expression. Let's take a look first at genetics. You are born with a template for your physical body, and this is your genes. And to some degree, although way less than most people believe, you do need to learn to deal with genetic quirks. Perhaps you have an allergy to a food or an allergy to a substance, or your body doesn't produce an enzyme perfectly. That may be something you just have to learn to live with. However, your lifestyle choices, and in particular your dietary choices, can mitigate or even change your genetic expression. And this affects even the genetic coding of your future children and grandchildren. And this is a graphic that shows how that can work. In generation 1, we have a woman who smokes while she's pregnant. This will induce epigenetic changes in both herself, her daughter, which is the baby she's carrying, which is unborn. And when that daughter is born, those epigenetic changes she has experienced because of her mother's smoking have been found in scientific studies to carry on to her children and her daughters, in particular, reproductive cells. Similarly, they've discovered that when grandparents went through a famine, that the grandchildren carry epigenetic markers from that famine. So your lifestyle and your environment have profound effects on the expression of the template that you're born with. Diet and lifestyle, in particular certain supplements like exercise and lifestyle factors like exercise, profoundly affect your epigenetic pathways. They can affect your telomere length and production of telomerase, which determines how long your cells can live and stay healthy. Key nutrient formulas are proven to dramatically enhance adult stem cell production, health, and activity. And your adult stem cells are how you renew your body and stay healthy as you age. So now we're going to look at some tips and ideas for lifestyle and diet choices to maximize the benefits to your genetic health. Remember, genetics loads the gun and lifestyle pulls the trigger. Let's look at some negative lifestyle choices. Cigarette smoking has been found to affect global epigenetic regulation. This means throughout your entire body. Studies show difference in epigenetic markers like DNA methylation, histone modifications, and your microRNA expression. These are all parts of the system that determine how your genetics are being expressed and how your genetics function in your body. Being sedentary. Not moving means there's a lack of oxygen flow to most parts of the body, and this can lead to oxidative stress that affects your DNA. It also means that your lymph isn't moving out cellular toxins, and cellular toxins also can adversely affect your DNA expression. And the little graphic you see here, many people do work in an office for 8 to 10 hours a day. They're driving to and from the office. They get home and they're exhausted from the stress of working, so they sit in front of the TV, and then they're exhausted and they need to sleep. But they probably aren't sleeping well because they haven't really worked their body. Other lifestyle choices include anything that gives you a stressor. And a stressor can be emotional, mental, as well as environmental. And let's take a look at this. So a stressor causes stress. It can be people, objects, places, events, or situations. And there's 5 categories of stressors. There's a biological stressor. This is something that is happening to your body. There's an environmental stressor. This is happening in your environment and affects you. Cognitive, or your thinking, the way that you perceive your life or a situation in your life or what you expect for something in your life, the way you think about it can stress you or not stress you. Your personal behavior, Again, this can get back to your diet if you're making negative choices in your diet or negative choices in your exercise or other lifestyle factors. And then life situations that maybe you don't have a lot of control over. Major life changes such as a death in the family or a divorce. Where you live, your physical surroundings, worrying about the future if you're having financial issues. Some of these things we cannot completely control. And so it's different than your personal behavior. But your personal behavior, that is how you act and how you think about what's going on in your life, can definitely change the amount of stress you're experiencing. Positive lifestyle choices for your DNA health include exercise. Studies show that even moderate exercise can help reduce or even reverse mutagenic epigenetics that are involved with cancer and tumor expression. And also in a preventative way, exercise can help prevent some of the mutagenic changes that lead to cancer. Sleep. Research demonstrates a link between sleep and epigenetic mechanisms such as DNA methylation and histone modifications that can lead to reduced cancer, to improve your brain and immune function, which means you stay healthier, which helps you live longer. All of which also affects your epigenetics and what your body is telling your DNA, what your DNA is telling your body to do, including the beginning of the aging process. We can slow that down by getting enough moderate exercise and sleep. Other things that can affect your genetics include having a healthy weight. Obesity has been proven to cause profound epigenetic dysfunction. One of the major things this can lead to is type 2 diabetes, but there are other diseases and conditions associated with obesity, like heart disease, circulatory disease, liver disease. Cancer rates go up when you're obese. And I want to be clear that being obese is not being overweight. There are many people who carry weight and are very healthy. The connection between weight and epigenetics is strictly has to do with obesity, which is where you have a significant amount of weight more than your ideal. Healthy water and air. Toxins in water and air pollution can mutate your DNA. They can destroy your probiotic populations, which also affects your DNA epigenetic expression. So making sure that you have healthy water and air as much as possible, at least in your own home, can be profoundly beneficial for your DNA health. And then, of course, diet. Diet is so important it has its own section. Let's take a look at what to avoid. Alcohol. A byproduct of alcohol metabolism is acetaldehyde. Researchers have found that acetaldehyde snaps the DNA of stem cells, permanently altering the genetic code and triggering cancer. So there is a strong link between the cancer stem cell that you hear about and the consumption of alcohol. Foods cooked in higher dry heat. This type of food creates AGEs, advanced glycation end product molecules. These molecules are basically when sugar and protein fuse together into a single molecule. They are very destructive and they can directly affect the nucleotides in your DNA, which prevents DNA repair from happening, which can increase the aging process quite significantly. Other things to avoid include high sugar foods. Again, sugar produces AGEs, which leads the DNA strands in your body to break more often, making them far less likely to be able to be repaired. So that would be premature aging processes, along with other diseases that sugar can lead to, which include diabetes, liver disease, again, circulatory disease. Fast foods and processed foods. In addition to the likelihood of them having a lot of added sugar, they are empty of anything except calories, and they have a multitude of additives. The average fast food meal, for example, will have over 89 different chemical additives for flavoring and coloring. These additives, many of them are toxic, and they definitely lead to inflammation, and science shows that they can cause permanent scarring to your DNA. Food nutrients that are beneficial. The first one we're going to talk about is turmeric, which has curcumin. Curcumin affects the regulation of your histones in a couple of different ways. It affects the methylation process in your DNA and also the activity of your microRNAs, which is how your DNA communicates with itself and communicates with the body. Green tea catechins, in particular, one called EGCG, epigallocatechin galate, it does the same thing as curcumin, but there's actually even more studies on the benefits of EGCG. There's over 200 studies done on that, and many of them indicate the benefits to both histones, the methylation process, as well as being a powerful antioxidant that helps prevent some of the DNA damage that could occur otherwise. Fava beans and chickpeas are full of a specific family called isoflavones. Isoflavones, again, have many of the same benefits as are shown with curcumin and green tea. The best source of isoflavones happens to be soy. I did not include soy here because there are some other issues with soy. Most of it is not organic, and it is a highly phytoestrogenic bean, which means it does mimic and work on the body like an estrogenic would, an estrogenic hormone. It can be beneficial for some women. It is often negatively affecting women who may have cancer, or that may run in their family, and it's certainly not appropriate for men. The amount of estrogenic action in fava beans and chickpeas is quite a bit less. Sulforaphanes are found in the cruciferous family, and this example shows broccoli and broccoli sprouts. And I wanted to show this because a great way to get benefits of the cruciferous family is the sprout. A lot of people do have issues digesting cruciferous vegetables. They can be tough on your digestion depending on the strength of your gut and its probiotic populations. But sprouts are really almost easy for anybody to digest. And they are about 30% stronger with the nutrients that are so beneficial. Sulforaphane affects DNA enzymes. They actually help those enzymes search and destroy tumors, and they also improve the methylation process, making it more smooth. Garlic and onions are the allium family. They are proven to help remove toxins that help cause DNA damage and cancer. In particular, they're very beneficial for the DNA of the gut. And then resveratrol, which is found in red grapes and berries, has similar benefits to curcumin and green tea, again, affecting epigenetic expression with the histone spindles, benefiting the DNA methylation, and also the activity of your microRNAs. More food nutrients that are so beneficial include, I love this, raw vinegar. Raw vinegar appears to, via epigenetics, reduce the inflammatory process that can lead to the production of kidney stones. And that's a very specific thing, but I love it because it shows just how broadly epigenetics affect your body. Fiber. Fiber is phenomenally important for your DNA. It increases the methylation. It alters gut bacteria towards a more beneficial diversity, which helps your epigenetics. It increases your telomere length significantly. It adds an estimated 4.5 years of healthy life to somebody versus someone who has a low fiber diet. That is significant. And that was a very large meta-study that gave me that particular fact. And then there's both soluble fiber. These are the kind that absorbs water and helps you feel full, and insoluble fiber adds bulk to your diet and helps you to have better bowel movements. Wheat sprouts. Wheat sprouts are shown to increase telomere length, and I think that's really fascinating. I talked about sprouts for the cruciferous family, but the truth is almost any edible sprout is going to offer some real major benefits to your body. They're very easy to digest, and they have a real punch of nutrients. Tonic mushrooms have extremely beneficial antioxidants which help decrease DNA damage. What's interesting is that some of the mushrooms tested will actually stop the telomerase production in cancer cells, which is what makes that immortal cancer cell that can be so dangerous. The mineral selenium in them is important for several DNA mechanisms. One of their antioxidants is called ergothioneine, and it stops mitochondrial DNA mutations. So it affects not just your nuclear DNA, but also your mitochondrial DNA. And then AFA Cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. Several of the nutrients in it have been studied and shown to be extremely beneficial to your health. It's been shown to reduce the oxidative stress that leads to DNA damage. It increases the activity of adult stem cells. It increases the numbers of healthy adult stem cells you produce. The nutrient PEA affects DNA regulation of cell death, leading to more effective cell death in cancer cells. Phycocyanin appears to stop some cancer cell DNA synthesis, which again supports the death of that cancer cell. It's also proven to support the DNA health in your mitochondria. It also modulates DNA damage that is a response to radiation. So this is a wide variety of benefits, and these are just some of the studies that have been done that I was able to pull from. Let's take a look at DNA health and micronutrients like we did with the algae in the last slide. The right micronutrients have a profound effect on your DNA health. Supplementation with methyl donors such as vitamin B12, folate, choline, and others can reverse epigenome dysregulation. B vitamins might avert the loss of DNA methylation induced by air pollution, so now it's not just helping methylation, it's helping reduce one of the environmental factors that maybe you don't have control over. So your diet begins to help you control your environment. Folic acid supplementation has been shown to prevent adverse effects caused by heavy metals and to restore function to the MTHFR gene. This is a big deal. First of all, most of us are exposed to heavy metals in today's environment, unfortunately. And the MTHFR gene is something that's really popular right now. I hear a lot of people have been tested for it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have the MTHFR gene. I can't get the right kind of B12. There's a specific supplement I have to give. Well, maybe they don't have the right amount of folic acid. So this is so important because nothing works alone when it's a micronutrient. They work in units of several nutrients together. Something that no lab can ever duplicate correctly, in my opinion. Nature has had thousands of years to create these combinations that are most effective for us. All we need to do is eat the foods that provide them. And I love it too that now we can affect our environment with our dietary choices. We can affect our genetics again directly with our dietary choices. Microminerals help regulate DNA enzyme production and hormone production, and a couple of those microminerals that are important include iodine and selenium. Essential fatty acids affect methylation and other epigenetic activities. I love this graphic, not because I necessarily agree with everything in it. It's important because you begin to see in the first two columns, or in the first column, the number of conditions and potential diseases that you may experience or could experience that can be affected by your sleep and by your diet, along with exercise. So this really gives you a great insight into how important your lifestyle choices are. Again, we can't always control our environment. We certainly don't control our genetics we're born with, but we can begin to control how they interact with us in our life right now, depending on our choices. And that's the important part of this particular graphic. Focused nutrition for adult stem cells. One key formulation offers multiple stem cell benefits. There are several formulations available on the market that help to increase adult stem cell production. Some of them do have some scientific testing behind them, but one in particular I think is very well researched. It is shown in several different studies to support the number of adult stem cells, or how many you're producing, the activity of those adult stem cells, so you're not just producing them, they're getting into your bloodstream where they can be used by the body, and the vitality and health of the adult stem cells. That's an important thing. You do not want to create a stem cell that then becomes damaged because of some kind of toxin or inflammation process in your body. And this particular formula protects your adult stem cells from any kind of oxidative stress, and that's incredibly important. The key ingredients in this formulation include blueberries and blueberry extract, which we do know is an important antioxidant food anyhow. Green tea extract, again, another important antioxidant food. L-carnosine, this is an amino acid that is particularly known as a longevity molecule. It's very important for the expression of the DNA in your body and for a lot of other functions as well. We tend to mostly get it in our diet from the meat we eat, but you can get it from some vegetarian sources as well. This particular formulation provides a vegetarian source. Vitamin D3, many people are critically short of this vitamin, which isn't a true vitamin. It's actually a hormone, but you can get vitamin D in mushrooms, milk products. It's usually added to milk, so that's not really accurate in my opinion, but fish, the oily fish like sardines, and of course, sun exposure. And lastly, this particular formulation includes AFA algae. And this is a picture of the pigments, the algae in water and the pigments that are expressed from the algae. And these pigments do have profound benefits on the human body. The bottom line, lifestyle and dietary choices significantly affect the health of your DNA. They affect the expression of DNA, and they can turn on disease processes via your epigenetics. They can increase telomerase activity or remove telomere length if it's a cancer cell. They can increase adult stem cell numbers, activity, and health, or they can cause stem cell mutations that lead to deadly cancers if you're making poor choices. And I want to go back to a graphic I used earlier because it's so important. Genetics loads the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. I hope you enjoyed this series. Have a wonderful day.